as we heal and grow is we are literally reclaiming our power. We're realizing our power. We're able to see our power. Sometimes our power has to be taken before we can realize how much power and that we have power once we see it being utilized or just siphoned off of us by someone else. And it's like they're wearing your outfit and you go out in public and you see them wearing your shit and it's like, did this bitch? It's kind of like that energy. It's like a lot of us are now realizing and taking accountability for the monsters that we've created and the role that we played and just this very sadistic, perverted, low vibrational, lust filled industry. And it's no longer about talent, it's no longer about quality, it's no longer about someone having something to say. It seems like it's more about this the mess and theatrics and the bullshit rather than, bitch, where's your music? And I might be a little harder on Latto because, I like Latto. And like Tyra Banks would say, I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. I was really rooting for Latto when she first came out because she was refreshing. She had talent. She had the flow. But I feel like Lotto is a good example of the fall of just celebrity culture. Her being a Capricorn and Pluto being a Capricorn during the time at the start of her cloud era and just a large part of her career, and now her transitioning into this phase of her career where it's like, and I think it's like the macro playing out in the micro, like what's happened, what did they say? Up, down, what's in, what's out. Like what's going on with her is kind of symbolizing what's going on with the collective, and a large percentage of people, about a large percentage of people who do not know who they are. And I think we don't talk about, especially at the age range that she is, that I am, and your mid to late 20s, early to 20s, just your 20s period. They don't talk about how lonely, how isolating, how scary, and how just how anxious it is being in your early to late 20s because you start to realize a lot of things. Your brain is developing. You're realizing the people that you're around in the different ways. You're seeing them in different lights. You're realizing that you may not be that same person. It's like we're all changing and we're all growing. And I think a lot of people who didn't have that room to either be forced to change and grow and man up or woman up or step into their divine power or step into their divine feminine or step into their divine masculine or do their shadow work, they're really suffering right now because I think a lot of people, it's kind of, I just hear like spirits say in my head, like those people that kind of get a pass for just being who they are or just kind of get away with things. I think we all have those people in our lives and in our family where it's just kind of like that sentiment of that's just how they are. That's just how they are. And I feel like a lot of those people who get treated that way, who have been coddled in that way, are going to be done the most disservice during this Pluto and Aquarius, this snake year, and just a lot of things that's going on as we progress through life and through time. And it's really showing, like, if you don't have a strong rooted connection to like something outside of yourself that's uplifting you, it's dragging you down, baby, and you're gonna get left. And I feel like we are in the times of if you don't shed that snake skin, bitch, if you don't let that nigga go, if you don't cut that friend off, if you don't move the fuck on, if you don't drag that family member, if you don't set boundaries, if you don't check grandma when she needs to get checked, if you don't check your siblings, if you don't do the things that you know in your heart and that you know in your mind and your body and your spirit, it's going to be harder and you're gonna have less time to do it. And baby, we're in a times where bitch, we're running out of time. And not even pulling any cards, and I'm just already feeling this. I'm already getting that big message and that urgency of. It's kind of like I grew up on the Vampire Diaries and the Vampire like Team Edward or Team Jacob. It's like bitch, pick it. We're picking teams, and the people who have already picked the teams and the people who already know who they were and usually the ones that were vilified and demonized or laughed at for knowing who they were before it was trendy, before it was an aesthetic, before it was cool. Now people want to be them. Now you're seeing things that you like. Now you're seeing things that you studied that you were dismissed on. Now you're seeing your energy. Now you're seeing the things that you created. Now you're seeing how your energy is being copied. Now it's trendy. So it's like sometimes a lot of us, I think we're all at different stages right now during this year. And I think there's the beginning stage of the people who have not been doing the work. There's people who've been ahead of the curve, who've been doing the work, and who have felt the martyrism. And there's people who don't give a fuck about work, who don't even care, who are just existing. I call them the NPCs. It's the people who don't even realize that there's work to do. And I think we have to figure out where along the lines we lie in that, because only you can say that. And I just feel like I'm here stepping into my power and into my purpose, doing something uncomfortable, which is making a video and putting myself out there after associating attention and being seen and having a big, strong, in-depth fear of being seen, associating with my inner childhood and my shadow work that I've been doing. And I can see the results of that because you don't see me, but I'm stepping out of my comfort zone and I'm preparing myself to step into my full power. And I've been putting in the work consistently, regardless of if you guys see it, anybody else sees it, God and Spirit sees it. And I do feel like I am in a season of being awarded or upgrading or kind of like, like it's balancing out, because I think a lot of us who have been going through a lot of hard transits, a lot of hard shit before the pandemic, after pandemic, during the pandemic, we reach a breaking point, and when we don't break and we pick ourselves back up and we heal and we put ourselves back together and we realize that we are not even the same person and that we are better than who we once were, that is we almost don't even realize it though, because at the moment we were broken. We were still mourning the old us. But as we shake off the dust and as we look around all the rubble around us and we see that we made it, now is our chance and now is our time to extend that olive branch, to extend that energy to people who are now in our same position, who are now in that place where they feel like life is hard, where they feel stuck, and they need that push that we needed. We needed that, now Spirit is asking us to be the person that we needed at a certain point. Now it's up to us. It's like once you got the download, once you know the message, once you know the destiny, it's up to you to fulfill it or not. And I can't tell you what to do, because that's the beauty of this life. It's free will. But I'm just urging you to just heal. And healing is not just something that is a trend that we can put on TikTok and get a bunch of likes and all that and put it on a cute shirt. Healing is literally acceptance, and healing is just effort. So I feel like that was I don't know where that came from. I don't know what, but Spirit, I didn't even pull no cards, but I feel like that was obviously the first message that needed to get out. And maybe Latto needed to hear that message. Growth and a lot of growing pains during this time. And there's a lot of fast growth. There's a lot of electric currents. There's a lot of surges. So I think a lot of people, it's throwing a lot of people off guard. And I just urge you guys and myself to just do your best to stay grounded and to not take the bait, because just as things are doing good and just as we do our work and that we're being rewarded and Spirit is showing us we're in alignment, the tests are going to still be coming. The tests are going to get harder. We're going to say higher levels, higher devils. So it's very much that. And I think it's almost like a spiritual war is going on and people are being drafted, and you want to make sure that you are ready before you are drafted into something that you don't even know is going on, before you are a sitting duck. And I think that's what a lot of spiritual people who have been channeling this energy, and it gets expressed in a lot of different ways. But we are in a spiritual war. We are, and it happens in the spirit first, and then it manifests in the physical. And so look at the physical right now. Like, look at the chaos that we're in right now. So the war has already happened in spirit. We've already won. There's already been a victor in spirit. But now we have to let it play out. And now it's the pick, and then we go back to pick a side. Is now when you pick a side, it's really just picking a timeline, and it's not us picking it, it's our vibration picking it. It's like if you are whatever you're in vibration with is the timeline you're going to be in. So maybe one day you're going to wake up and you're going to be on the timeline where we lost because you didn't do your work. So I feel like it's very much that. It's like the war's already won, and now it's up to us to do better and elevate higher and vibrate higher, closest to our higher self, where we fulfill our purpose and all of that, rather than being in the lower ends or being stuck in the astral or stuck in places or lost or just being NPCs and just mindlessly being sheep and going out through life. So before I even go off on another tangent, let me drink my coffee.